much. Democrats at the state capitol are taking a victory lap in a race that they could not lose. They, of course, hold both sides of the legislature and the governor's office. What Democrats could agree on, they got. Today, the governor broke out one of those big boards listing all their wins. Politics guy Marshall Zellinger adds some fine print that they probably prefer we didn't mention.
Hello, everybody. Welcome.
It would not be a news conference with Democratic Governor Jared Polis without visual aids. The ones on display today highlight wins from the legislative session. On Monday, it was this one, cutting property taxes, that was not fully accurate. If you watch next, you know even with a property tax compromise at the legislature, your future property tax bills will still go up, just not as much as if lawmakers did nothing. Today, the top of the visual aid read, "More housing now." But listen to Polis's answer when he was asked about housing legislation passed this year.
This is not the type of thing where you sign the bill and the next week you have, more buses and more housing. But it takes the development cycle, which means not forever. It means it takes a few years, right?
Which led me to ask if the visual aids are purposefully not written with the full story.
You and Kyle do a great job telling people the deeper analysis. We certainly have deeper analysis of each of these, but we're obviously going to put a good thing to say up there. More housing now, and the reason that we use that slogan, I've used that slogan for several things. Preschool now and kindergarten now and housing, that sounds better than, preschool in 3 years or kindergarten in a year or housing in 2 years. So, of course, we want to highlight the urgency of the need and the urgency of the solutions.
His third bullet point says fully fund schools. Yes, this is the first year in more than a decade that the state is providing the full amount of money it's supposed to without holding any back. But a rally by school groups earlier this year used a Taylor Swift theme to poke fun that fully funded essentially means schools are now funded as though it were 1989.
This is a reference to ending the budget stabilization factor, the money that was owed to schools, funding schools at the level that was promised to the voters in Amendment 23. And also a plan to maintain that commitment over time. Whether or not it's enough funding for our schools, separate discussion, of course.
For Next, I'm Marshall Zellinger.